Hey everybody, how's it going? Alecandstuff here to check out Resident Evil 7. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Biohazard 7, as it's known in Japan, on Nintendo Switch. Now, interestingly enough, this isn't just your average Nintendo Switch game. As you can probably already see, this is the cloud version of Resident Evil 7. Now, for those unfamiliar with what that means, basically this version allows you to play the full game while utilizing the power of the cloud to stream it to your console, similar to the way that movies through Netflix stream. Anyway, so today we're going to give the free trial a shot to see what kind of results we get, and I will admit I do have a few concerns going into this, but who knows, maybe the game will surprise me. So let's go ahead and boot this up, and one thing that I should definitely mention ahead of time is that this is only available in Japan at the moment, so as far as performance goes, I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference whether or not you're playing this from Japan or from America, but as I said, we'll see. So also, another thing to note as well is that a lot of the performance of the game is going to depend on your internet connection. So, I don't know how to read Japanese, so I'm going to assume this is the affirmative. Cool. Anyway, so as I was saying, yeah, this is all in Japanese, only available in Japan, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so a lot of this is going to depend on your internet connection. I just did a speed test before I launched this game, and I was coming in at around 100 megabytes download and about 20 upload. So, for those unfamiliar, that is actually pretty good. Although, through the power of translation apps, I can see that this little warning on the top still says that my internet connection is, not so good. It says that, but like a rough translation, it's basically telling me that I might be disconnected at any second here, and that it's just warning me that my internet connection is spotty. So, by all standards that are here in America, I think I have a pretty decent connection. This is actually what my conditions would be normally, since nothing else I have is connected to the internet at the moment. This is another one of those unsure of what everything means here. Brightness, I'm not sure that this matters, actually. Yeah, I'm not sure that this matters. It looks fine on my TV. Cool. So, we're going to go ahead and start the game. Now, another thing to mention, too, since this is a cloud version of the game, the pricing is going to be a little different as far as in comparison to, you know, a regular Switch game. The game's pricing at the moment, for Japan, it's unclear of whether or not this is coming to the West, by the way, so I'm just going to keep saying in Japan. The game's pricing in Japan is $18 for 180 days of rental period, which is about, let's see, 30 days, so about 6 months, which isn't terrible. You can serve it as a rental. That's 6 months, right? I think I'm doing my math right. I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, I'm sure I'll hear about it. But anyway, so as far as the video quality and responsiveness of this game goes, it's here and there. You can probably already tell that this is not running at a smooth 60 frames. We're dropping some frames here and there, which is to be expected. But the video quality looks nice. As far as that goes, everything looks good. Oh, we had our first disconnect. Okay, great. Alright, so we're here back in the game again. I had to restart the software just to get this back up and running. We still have the same warning at the top. I'm assuming that's just because we are such a far distance away from Japan, but let me see, I forgot where I was. Anyways, so this game, I've already played through on the PC before. I'm already familiar with like what it's supposed to look like and blah blah blah, but as far as like video quality goes, it doesn't look too bad. Since this is a cloud version of the game, ideally it should look better than what the Switch is actually capable of outputting. So theoretically, it should be running on high-end PCs, and we're just streaming the video and audio from the machines that they're running them on. So as far as that's concerned, the video quality looks okay. Again, as I said earlier, I'm not sure whether or not it will impact the performance of the game at all, us being in America versus this only being available in Japan. But, did we crash again? Did it disconnect us? I can't tell. Oh, man. Man! This is hard to get up and running. Okay. Oh, how many times do I have to go through these menus? Alright, you guys, so I've had to restart this software a couple of times just due to disconnecting issues. I think this is now the 5th time I've booted up this software, so this is going to be our last shot. If I can't get it past any of the cutscenes at the beginning, I'm just going to call it a day. We'll see if we can make it that far, though. Yes, it looks fine, yep, okay. Start game, normal, cool. So, right. So this is very interesting. I mean, it keeps telling me that my internet connection is not suitable for gameplay and blah blah blah, disconnecting in any second. A large part of me is going to just assume that the gameplay is a lot smoother and the experience is a lot better if you are in Japan. Because if that's not the case, then this is a very, very not so pleasant experience for people that want to play this game on their Switch. As far as that goes, I don't think it would be the most practical way to play this game, especially since I haven't even made it past the first cutscene in 5 tries now. So yeah, Resident Evil 7. I've already played through it on PC, as I said before. Where was I? I keep losing my train of thought because we're disconnecting so often. Right. So as far as the cloud version goes, I think this is actually Nintendo's first endeavor into cloud streaming onto their consoles, although I could be wrong. I think there was a game like years ago that took this same approach to it, and I don't know what the results were. I'll have to look into that once there it goes. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and just call it a day. Unfortunately, we are unable to get to actual gameplay, which stinks. When this first was announced, I was actually really, really excited about it until I read that this was going to be a cloud based version of the game. My initial reaction was kind of mixed to that. I thought it was a cool concept in that it was going to be taking advantage of cloud-based computing and rendering from other machines and streaming the video to the Switch, because that essentially just opens up the performance and graphical fidelity past the limits of what the Switch can produce, which is a cool idea. But due to the limitations of the cloud infrastructure and just how internet latency works, it's not the most pleasant of experiences yet. It's not the most one-to-one experience. So as far as that goes, I think for me personally, I would have just preferred a Resident Evil 7 port adapted to the Nintendo Switch's hardware. Yes, it wouldn't have looked as good as on my PC, but I would still have the benefit of taking it on the go, which is another thing. The cloud version, since you have to be connected to the internet to stream this game to your Switch, you don't really have the opportunity to take it anywhere else other than your home, which is kind of unfortunate and sort of defeats the whole purpose of the Switch itself, at least for me. I take my Switch everywhere, and pretty much any opportunity I can get to game on the go, I take it. So Resident Evil 7... the cloud version, even if it was performing well, I wouldn't be able to use in those scenarios, which is quite unfortunate. But yeah, so that was Resident Evil 7 for the Nintendo Switch, the cloud version, that is. Really sad that we couldn't get to any actual gameplay other than the beginning cutscene there, but such is the results that we were given. So anyways, just to wrap it all up, I'm not sure if the results will differ what we saw today if we were living in Japan. I'm hoping that they would. The game's pricing is $18 for 180 days, which serves as a sort of rental period. So you never actually permanently own the game, which is another qualm that I have with this version, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. The benefit, though, is that it includes all the DLC that has ever been released for Resident Evil 7 on all the other platforms, which is kind of cool. And also, I think it's also pretty cool that as far as I can tell, the graphical fidelity of this version looked better than what the Switch could have produced, but, again, it's prone to performance issues, so there's that. Anyways, so Resident Evil 7, that's it, everybody. Anyways, that's about it for this video, but before I go, I wanted to pass the question on to you guys. What do you think of games potentially being brought over through cloud versions? Does the idea excite you? Do you find it limiting in ways? Feel free to let me know down in the comments below, as I would love to discuss with you guys. And with all of that said, of course, as always, I'm alecandstuff, and I will see you all again real soon. Bye!